I'm Bogus Red, professional illustrator from paperdemon.com, and today I'm going to share with you 3 motivational tips to help you get started with your artwork. But first, it's October, which means it's ADHD Awareness Month. All throughout this month, I am going to share with you more videos with tips and stories to help you become more awesome with your ADHD. Now, let's get into it. Getting started. This is often where motivation trips us up. Getting started is the hardest part of getting anything done with our artwork. So, I'm sharing with you 3 tips. The first tip is the 20-second rule. The 20-second rule comes from a book called The Happiness Advantage. In it, the author wants to spend more time with his guitar, and he never seemed to get around to doing it. I think we can all relate to that. So what he did is he took his guitar out of the closet, he took off the case, and he put it out in a place where he would see it. So that it took less than 20 seconds for him to get started in playing his guitar. And he found that this really does work. So how can we apply this 20-second rule to our artwork? We can have a dedicated workspace which is ready to go for us to sit down and draw and paint or whatever it is we're doing. Have all the tools laid out, set aside for us to get started with it immediately, within less than 20 seconds. I realize this may be difficult for some people to have a dedicated space for their artwork, so I can suggest an alternative, which is to prep the night before. Say, for example, you want to be working on your artwork on a Saturday. You can set an alarm the night before to prepare your workspace that night before, so that when you get up in the morning, it's ready to go. And you're going to be more likely to get into it if it's already set up. The second technique I'm going to share with you is the body double technique. No, I'm not talking about cloning. The way this works is basically you are working on your artwork with someone else in the room. And one of the ways that I do this is something called creative times. My friends get together once a month on a Sunday, and we go out for a yummy breakfast. Pancakes, bacon. And then afterward, we all come back to my place and we work on our projects. So 2 of my friends are writing a book. One of my friends is working on a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, and I'm working on my artwork. Another way you can use the body double technique is with a streaming service like Twitch or Picarto. One way you can do it is you can watch someone else stream, and while they're streaming their artwork and you're watching and listening in, you're working on your artwork too. Another way you can use it is by actually streaming, and I think this holds you accountable, and so it is much more effective. You set a schedule, so like for me, every Friday at 1 o'clock, I am on Twitch streaming my artwork for 2 hours. And this ensures that I get at least 2 hours of my artwork in each week because it's holding me accountable. I've told other people I'm going to be streaming at that time and I don't want to let them down, so I feel obligated to do it. I'm more likely to stick with it. Another way to use the body double technique is with Meetups. So you can go to meetup.com and see if there's any local art-related meetups, usually like people just hanging out in a coffee shop and drawing or whatever, and it's super chill and you just relax and do some drawing and meet some people. This might be a little bit scary, especially if you have a little bit of social anxiety, so what I recommend you do is you bring along a friend. And since you're making a commitment with a friend, you're also more likely to stick with it because you don't want to let your friend down either. The final technique is the 5-minute rule, and this is the best one. I swear to God, this really, really works. Okay, you have an inner brat inside of you. Well, maybe you don't, but I have this inner brat where whenever it's time for me to be working on something like my artwork or my animation or whatever, I just have this inner brat that says, I don't feel like it. I don't want to do it. I want to do something else. I want to watch TV. I want to relax. I don't want to do it. And the way that I appease this inner brat is I tell this brat, okay, for 5 minutes, I am going to sit down and do it, and then I can stop. And that's enough to get my inner brat to shut up and be like, oh, okay, I can do 5 minutes, and then we'll be done. We can go back to whatever it was we were doing. But what's interesting is after 5 minutes, you don't want to stop you are already in the zone, you're already making progress, and most of the time you will keep going. Sometimes that brat will win out and you will stop after 5 minutes, but most of the time it works pretty good. Okay, so there you have it. 3 tips to help you get motivated and get started with your artwork. Which of these tips did you relate to most? Let me know in the comments below. I'd like to know which one you're going to try out. Don't forget to set like an alarm or write a post-it note to remind you to try these techniques. Also, if you'd like more art tips, motivational tips, inspirational quotes, etc., join my newsletter. There's a link in the description below. And don't forget, you're part of a larger art community of neurodivergent artists, and we're all here to help you become more awesome. Thanks for watching. Bye!